Hey folks, Sam with Sam Wood Outdoors. Going to do a little trapping video here real quick. The only thing is it's going to be a little different. This is going to be a more of how not to trap raccoons with the dog-proof coon trap, or the DP trap. This trap right here is probably the most misrepresented, misused, misguided trap in the trapping industry since I've been trapping, and which has been almost 30 years. Now, I'm not here to sell you on what trap to use. I don't care. You buy whichever one you want, whichever one you feel comfortable with. I use Duke traps just because they're the best bang for the buck. I'm not here to tell you what bait to use. All I use a little bit of cat food, a little bit of dog food, something like that. Not here to tell you what lure to use. I use linens and I use fish oil. You can use whatever you want. The reason I say this is the most misrepresented trap, I think since it came out, I kind of watched it evolve over the last, 10 years or so. And I really didn't start using them till about 5 years ago. And when I did start using them, my learning curve on them was huge. I mean, I struggled with them. I wasn't ever going to use them again until I learned what was important with using a dog-proof coon trap. Now, I see a lot of people, they say, hey, I'm just getting into trapping. What trap should I buy? Everybody says, buy a dog-proof trap. No, I think you need to buy a 1.5 or something like that. This trap right here, people think that they can just put some bait in it, stick it in the ground, you're going to catch coons. That is not true. This trap right here is probably the second most important trap, is setting on sign. You got to set a conibear on sign. This you got to set on sign. But I'm going to take you out. I'm going to show you some spots. I'm going to show you what I do and try to help you out. If you got these traps, try to help you out, get your fur count up there, and show you what to do. All right, let's start out with the way everybody perceives the dog-proof coon trap. Everybody perceives it is we can set it, we can put some bait in it, stick it in the ground, and we're going to catch coons. That is 100% not true. So far from the truth, it is unbelievable. I could probably leave this trap right here in my backyard with my dogs running around and everything else, and I might catch a coon. But odds are, I'm never going to catch a coon. But that's what people are saying about this trap. Just set it, put it out there, and you're going to catch raccoons. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Let's go out there and see some spots where we can catch raccoon, and I'll show you some other spots that most people think they can, and they can't. All right, here's a good spot here. We got a river that comes through this culvert, or could be a bridge, could be anything, but it's a substantially sized river or creek, it's pretty good size. Most people want to come through and set a dog-proof trap, set it right there, bait it, throw some fish oil by it, and think you're going to catch raccoons. You probably are. It's actually a very good spot, but you know what? It's a better spot to take and put yourself a little 1.5 coral spring with a pocket set right there or something else. Why? Because here you're going to catch a raccoon, you're not going to catch a mink. With the dog-proof coon trap, you are going to catch the mink, you are going to catch the raccoon. Or you're not going to catch the mink, you're only going to catch the raccoon. So, if you just had these DP traps, this is a good spot, but this is a better spot. Why? Because the raccoons are not walking in this water, and they're not going to go through this culvert because the water's about that deep. So what they're going to do is they're going to walk this bank right here, and they're going to go up and over the road. If you have the trap here, you might catch their attention because they're going to be walking right here. You're this far away. Coons got a pretty good sense of smell and everything else, but they're kind of lazy. So if you have the trap there, that's right where they're going to walk. Now you've raised your odds considerably higher to catching that raccoon. Still not a guaranteed deal. These dog-proof coon traps, I have seen coons on video walk right by them, but we just upped our odds by moving our trap 3 feet. So let's go check out some more spots. This is a kind of spot here that every new trapper gets excited and almost drools on themselves when they find it. We have a point right here. This is not very far from my house. In fact, I caught my first mink right over there. And when I first started trapping, I got excited about this spot because I was always told that these points are really good. So, like many trappers, I would try to trap that point. You're going to take your dog-proof coon trap, you're going to stick it right there, and you're going to think, I got the best spot on the whole river. No, you don't. What sucks about this spot is you see the river goes this way, and then it curves back down. And right over directly that way, we have the road. In fact, you're gonna see a car go by right now. So what happens here is over there where the river makes this other bend back and goes that way, all the coons that are coming up, they walk that river. 60% of them do not come around this way. They just keep going straight to get to the other side to get to the river because there's not a whole lot going on right here. 40% of them come around the bend this way, and out of them 40%, one coon might come here. The rest go right up that bank and head right straight across the river. So this spot, although it's a great spot to maybe catch a mink, not a great spot to put a DP trap. Where I would put a DP trap, and I have, because I trap right up here for mink and everything else, and like I told you, I use this trap to fill in the spots in my line. You can see right here where I trap. It's even still got the fish oil on the tree. I set my trap right here, I chain it to the tree, and the reason being, like I said, 60% of them coon are coming up that way and heading straight through. So I put traps over there. But I also come right here and I put a trap here to try to get some of that 40% that come around this way. And then I also put a trap that goes right straight up over that road there, right in that path. That's how I use DPs. And I've come down here and I've watched other trappers. I'll walk right by their DP trap set right there, or their DT. Every year there's always a DP trap sitting right there on that point. And every year, that guy does not catch a coon. I usually get them before I get to his trap, or they just never show up. Now I want to take and show you another spot that's really good here. The coons that are on that side of the river, like I said, are going up that way. The coons that are on the other side of the river, they're running that bank right there, and they're going up and across the road. And if you look right straight across the river, let me cross over there and show you. The things I'll go through to teach you guys. But right here, you can see the fish oil on this tree. And I think if you watch the Fast Track to Coon Trapping, you'll see me catch coons here. I used to trap this spot with a 1.5 coil spring tucked right into here. Now I trap it with a DP trap right here, and I'm catching all them coon that are coming down there, walking this bank and going up over. And the reason they're not in the water is you see me go through, it's probably almost to the top of my boots, and them coons, they don't want to get wet neither. So them are some of the spots here on the river that I would trap. Let's go look at some more spots. All right, another great spot to set the DP coon trap, and it's probably one of the most effective kind of guaranteed ways is to set them up on feeders. This is a feeder I make. I'm not going to go in depth and take you out and show you any of them sets because I have a whole video on this. It's called Trapping Burger King Style, or Trapping Raccoons Burger King Style. So check that out. I would leave you a link, but I really don't want you to leave this video. So when it's all said and done, I'll probably put it at the end or something like that. But that's a great way to do it. And so let's go check out them other spots. All right, these are great places for dog-proof traps. This is a barn, an old barn, but a lot of times once you start trapping, farmers are gonna start calling you up, or they're gonna hear about you, and they're gonna start calling you up, and they're gonna say, hey, I got some coons getting in my barn, in my hay mound, or coons getting in my corn crib. You know, can you come out and catch them? Usually I used to have to do this with a live trap, just because they didn't want me to catch their barn cats. Barn cats and farm dogs are very important to farmers. You don't want to be catching them. So I used to have to set a live trap. Only problem with a live trap is half the time I would get a cat right away and it would kind of plug it up and I couldn't catch the coons, or it would take me a while to get the coons. Here, I can set a dog-proof trap. I can put it right in the hay mound. I can put it down by the feed bed. I can put it wherever the farmer wants me to be, and I can catch them coons. Now, I don't recommend using a push-pull trigger if you're on an active farm. Why? Because a push-pull trigger goes off when you push down. Dogs will come by, they'll lick that bait, they push down, they get their tongue caught in there. Cats will come in there and reach in there with their paw, and you will catch cats, and you're going to piss the farmer off, and that'll be the end of that. So I totally recommend using only a pull trigger DP trap when you're trapping around active barns and farms and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a great spot to use these traps. You know, you just stick them in there and right into hay or whatever, and catch yourself some coons. All right, all you folks that I'm telling you that I recommend the new trapper, the beginning trapper, buy a 1.5 coil spring because it's versatile. You can use it for mink and water sets. You can use it for coon and everything else. And then I hear, well, I want the dog-proof trap, or I need a dog-proof trap. I was trapping with a dog-proof trap 25 years ago and didn't even know it. What we used to do back in the day, and it really wasn't for dog proof. We used to use this a lot in cornfields or places that you had a chance of your trap getting run over by it, you know, somebody harvesting or whatever. And all we did back in the day, and it worked perfect, took a 1.5-inch spade bit, piece of plywood, paneling, or anything, just drilled a hole just like that, got that in there. I don't recommend using metal because the coon will tear his arm up. And we don't want that. We want that animal to be as comfortable as possible while they're in the trap. So let's go and show you how to set this, and you'll see it's a pretty good set. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and show you how to use our old school dog-proof trap.
And we do love dogs.
And we do love our dogs. So I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. There's a lot of applications. You can figure out where you want to use this out in the field. But basically, all you're going to do is dig a hole, just like this, to put your trap in. Keep it kind of round. You can make it fairly deep. Karma, she loves digging. She'll probably be over here making this hole bigger for me in a minute. So we're going to dig our hole just like that. Then what you want to do, take your 1.5 coil spring, or long spring or anything you could use, and set it. And then you want to take and spot for the springs here. Drive your anchor down right in the bottom there. Roll your chain down in the bottom. Set your trap in there just like that. Then you take your plywood and you set it right over the top of the hole, right over the top. Now you want to get this all blended in, dirt on it. And you want to be able that coon to step on there and not cave it in on that trap. Then you'll lay some dog food down, or your bait, and you'll put some bait in the hole, put some fish oil in there and around. And then what happens is the coon comes around, he eats this, he eats that, he sticks his nose in there, he can smell it. They automatically will reach their hand in there. They'll reach their hand in there like that. They'll push down on that pan, and you'll catch them in there. They'll be through there just like this, and they'll be caught. Really, they don't chew on it. They'll probably, most of the time I've seen them, they chew the shit out of this board. So if you want to use a heavier plywood, that would be great, but whatever it takes. So that's old school dog-proof trap. You can use that out on your line all over the place where you need to, and you can still have them 1.5 coil springs so you can go trap mink and everything else that you need to trap. All right, guys, here's another spot for a dog-proof trap, or to use that plywood board dog-proof set that I showed you with the 1.5. It's a cornfield. You're going to get calls once you get out there and the farmers start knowing you. You're going to get calls that, hey, I got a bunch of coons in my corn. Especially if you got a farmer who's growing sweet corn or something like that. And what you're going to look for when you go in here is you're going to look for a bunch of corn stalks busted over. I don't have that right here, and I haven't been out scouting a lot of the cornfields yet. I'm still a month away from season. But you'll get a bunch where the corn stalks are all knocked over in a big area, and there's going to be coon tracks. Look for them in the dirt. That's a perfect spot to set one of these DP traps. If it's later in the year, I kind of recommend using the plywood set because what's going to happen is you're not going to know exactly when that farmer's going to cut this corn. And if he comes through here and cuts his corn and you got your trap in there, you could have some issues. So that's kind of what I recommend. So let's go on and see what else we can find. All right, let's talk about baiting a DP trap or dog-proof trap. Now, this is not the golden rule. I'm not the trapping god. You know, I'm just telling you what works for me. First thing I do, I set my trap. I like to put a coon grabber or something down in the bottom, maybe some wool or something, because after the coon eats the food, I want him to still be in there digging. My favorite bait is either dog food or cat food, and then I just go ahead and I fill that up just like this. And my dog-proof traps, I don't believe in using the push-pull trigger, so I fill mine all the way to the top. My philosophy is I hardly have ever seen a coon walk away from a meal. The only reason he's going to walk away is if he takes a bite and he doesn't like that. That is the number one reason. This is fish oil. I use fish oil around my traps to lure the coon in, but I do not put it in the trap. I have seen coons take a bite of the dog food after the dog food or the cat food after there's been fish oil on it. They do not like the taste of fish oil. So do not put this in your trap. If you get that out of anything, do not put this in your trap. Just put it around your trap. Some people will tell you different, but here's the deal. What does it hurt if you put it around your trap? The coon's still going to come there. If he doesn't like it, he's going to walk away. But he's not going to walk away because you didn't put it on there. The next thing is, if you guys out there are using push-pull triggers, do not fill it up. Just put enough in there just to basically cover the trigger right there, because the reason is, if you're all the way full and a coon pushes down and he gets that trigger to push down, this is going to go off and you're either just going to catch his toes and he's going to be gone, or you're going to miss him altogether. So if you're using push-pull, you only want to fill that up just so it's above the trigger. If you got a coon grabber in there, you know, you just want to put a little bit on top to get him going, and that'll be it. That's pretty much it on baiting this. You know, I leave some around, but you can use whatever bait you want. If you want to buy all the expensive bait and everything else, go ahead. Does it work any better? Sometimes. Sometimes they're looking for a specific smell or a specific taste, you know, but that's it. But otherwise, you know, cat food or dog food, they just work perfect. All right, folks. This right here is the Mac Daddy of coon trails. It's kind of funny here. It's right on the edge of town, and actually Melissa, or my mom found this. So, you know, if my mom can learn how to find coon trails, and Melissa can learn how to find coon trails, there's no excuse for you guys not finding coon trails. But this right here is a kick-ass coon trail. And I want to take this coon trail. It'd be a perfect spot. I'm going to set a 160 back in there as soon as season starts. I'm going to smack the snot out of them. But I wanted to talk to you guys that don't have 160s or 220s. You guys are going to use dog-proof coon traps. This is the perfect spot. When you set a dog-proof coon trap, you don't want it here. You don't want it here. You want it right there on any coon trail. Now, why is that? Them coon, you can see they walk a distinct path right here. They got their feet and they're going, and they got their head. And if that dog-proof coon trap is right there and they don't really feel like eating, they're gonna go right on by it. I know you guys always love my sound effects. But anyways, if you have it right here, when that coon comes, boom, bumps his nose in there, oh, looks, smells, hey, that smells pretty good, reaches in there, bang, you got him. So you need to learn to set on sign. You need to learn about coons. You need to learn. That's one thing about a nice day in Wisconsin, you're gonna have Harleys to deal with. But you're gonna need to learn all about raccoons. Don't learn so much about trapping right now as you need to learn about raccoons. You know, watch my other videos. I give a lot of insight. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to tell you to buy these. I'm actually telling you not to buy these. But if you do have them, I want you to use them right, because I struggled. I set them traps right there. Now I set them right there because I learned. So learn from me, learn from my mistakes, and you'll have a more successful season. So I got one more spot to show you, and then we're going to end this video. And you know, this is not one of them. It's too early in the year. We're not going to show you some kills and some catches and everything, but I do that on all my other videos. So let's go check out that one last spot I want to show you. All right, folks, we're in a spot here that was the turning point of my dog-proof trapping career. When I first got these traps, I struggled with them. So I know that new guys that don't have a lot of trapping experience or no trapping experience really struggle with these. You're gonna get lucky, you're gonna catch coons, and you're gonna feel proud. But if you follow some of the tips that we talked about in this video, you're gonna catch more. But I wanted to show you this spot because this is a spot that changed my whole style of using dog-proof coon traps. This is a culvert. we have a trail that comes out here, and a lot of the coons go under this culvert. And I used to trap with a 160, and I used to catch a lot of the coons, and it's a great spot. I started putting dog proofs where I thought they would be good in my line because I trap a lot of these spots, but you can see right here, a lot of these coons come out and they go right here and they go right over the top of the road. They're not going through the culvert. So them are gonna be some of the ones that I was missing. So what I would do is, I would attach this here, and what I do, so I can get the best of both worlds. I want the coons that are going through the culvert, but I also want the coons that are coming up here. I set that right there. Now it's not ideal, because I told you before, you should be set right here, or you should be set, right here, right in the middle of that trail. But here, I'm trying to catch coons on two different paths that are really close together. So I think it's pretty important that we go right in the middle, right there. And the other good thing about this spot is when you catch a coon, he's going to go in that culvert, he's going to hide, you're never going to see him. But this is a spot that taught me how to use the dog-proof coon traps. This is a perfect spot to use them. It's why I use them. I fill in my line. It's just a great spot.